nice. There we go. All right, welcome on in, everybody. All right, welcome on in. I'm a few minutes late. Sorry, I had some audio issues. But we made it. We made it to stream. Hell yeah. Happy Thursday, everybody. Today, we're going to be just reviewing some beats. Not reviewing. We're going to be mixing down a track today. Sorry, I'm all flustered. Had to just deal with a bunch of audio stuff. But yeah, today, we're just going to be mixing down a track, a single that is going to be coming out in 5 weeks. I know, I'm going to make you guys wait. But it should be good. Those of you that were here in the Saturday stream, hanging out for some beat making, you guys might recognize this one. This is the second beat that I made on Saturday. And you know, I really, really love this song. I think you guys are going to like it too. If you're curious, though, what we are listening to right now, this is off of my new album, The Low-Key Plan. This one's called Not All Heroes Wear Capes. Yeah, go check out The Low-Key Plan, in case you're living under a rock, you know? But yeah, good stuff, good stuff. Getting my Ableton project all loaded. I'm usually more prepared than this. Nah, I got it all started. I had to restart my computer like 1 minute before stream. I'm trying to troubleshoot the audio, you know. But I think we're all good now. And I should just double, triple check. Make sure. Yeah, it looks like the audio's good. Okay. Oh man. But yeah, we're back to mixing beats. I'm excited to start mixing this track down. This one's kind of a fun, kind of zany track. I'll show you guys in a minute as soon as this loads. But yeah, should be a good stream today, you know. Or at the very least, a very productive one. Getting work done, you know. But man, anyways. Yeah, definitely. Here, I should go ahead and just drop a link. If you guys are trying to find the new album, it is out now. It is The Low-Key Plan by TapDaddy on all platforms. So if you're trying to find the music, if you're interested in the music, there is a link to it. And yeah, of course, as always, I am TapDaddy on all platforms. So yeah, you can go find me anywhere. But anyways, let's see how this is loading. Okay, it's still thinking about it. It's considering it. That's all good. But yeah, this was a really fun one that made on Saturday. And you know what's kind of crazy is I feel like my backlog of demos and stuff is just piling up. But even so, I've got so much really good stuff that I'm excited to release. But this track just felt like the right one to line up next. So, man, I think it's going to be a good one. But yeah, you know, my workflow for just like, I don't know, how I release music, how I choose to release music, is I try to make more music than I plan to release. And I think that is always I feel like that's better for creativity, right? I feel like if you are, you know, you're working on one song and you're like overthinking this one song and you're like, this is the song that needs to come out on this day and I'm halfway done writing it. You know, then there's like so much pressure for this one song to be like really good that you vibe with it, that you love it. That might not be the case for every song you make, right? Whereas if you like, let's say you've got like, I don't know, a release that you need to finalize for the next 2 weeks and then you make like 6 songs, you know, like it's less of a mental burden, right? You can afford to make some throwaways. You can afford to take chances. You can afford to experiment, right? And then when it comes time to picking what your next release is, you have like a big stash to choose from. You can choose the cream of the crop, right? I like making music like that. I've got about 225 demos on my backlog, and what we are about to listen to is what I feel like currently is kind of the cream of the crop of what I got on deck, and it's just something I made not too long ago. So let's full screen this. Let's get this full screened, and let's give this a listen. I should line up this. There we go. I know I'm kind of OCD. There, is that about even? Yeah. Okay. Let's give this a listen. Let's see what we're mixing down today. First listen through. Oh. Oh, man. I'm excited for this one. I don't know. I feel like this is just very infectious, Oh, I love that. I love that. So it is coming in pretty loud. We are definitely clipping. We are at positive 4.51. Let's just give ourselves a good amount of headroom here. I'm going to highlight everything in here. And yeah, it looks like I've done like barely any gain staging, which honestly is kind of surprising because I feel like the mix is already feeling pretty good. It's not like totally ass backwards right now. It's actually feeling pretty damn good. And I think part of that is just, I did a decent amount of work, processing the drums and kind of, did a little bit of spacing of things, not much. But yeah, it just so happened that this track is sitting pretty nicely right now. But let's give ourselves some headroom. We're going to take this down by quite a bit, everything. Some amount, doesn't matter. Let's see how much headroom we just gave ourselves. Probably a lot, but that's okay, It's all relative. Okay, and I see that I had this sidechain signal. What was this tied to? Ah, yes, I did have a little bit of sidechain going on. I assume on that bass as well. Yeah, I kind of ran things how I typically like to on this bass. A little compression, a little boost in the low end, and this track, maybe not for every track, but for this track, tight sidechain feels good. see, what do we got going on these drums too? Okay. See, I've got the kick here, a little boosted, cut off, little FET compressor, 1176. I'm really in love with the snap of these drums. All right, so I think, yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about these drums, honestly. I feel like they're pretty well mixed. Let's just kind of start from the beginning and start working our way forward, right? So starting with this intro, what do we got going on here? We got a little bit of background noise. We got these keys. We got some detailing, a little bit of detailing here with some synths and whatnot. Curious if we could get this to gel a little bit more. If anything, maybe just in the beginning we get this to gel. And I'm just kind of curious. This might, you know, we kind of want to save some of the energy. It does sound nice and bright and vibrant, but I am curious if we vinyl processed it a little bit in the beginning, just to kind of save some of that energy for the drop in. See, that kind of feels a little bit more fitting. And I'm kind of thinking that just for the beginning, just to kind of preserve some of the energy, right, for the actual drop in. So, also, how are we feeling about this background noise? I'm kind of thinking we might bring that down a little bit. Try to create a little bit of depth just from the get-go, you know? Oh, I did that backwards. Duh. Silly man, I know. Brought that the drum and the bass a little bit more forward, just a little bit. Man, that's sounding good. But let's kind of think about maybe just this section in here. How do we feel about this transition? How do we feel about everything's like spatial position, but also just audible position in the mix? This feels kind of dry. And I see we put some compression on there. I think that's doing pretty good work. Yeah, it's definitely kind of making that feel a little bit more full. I'm just curious if we could make this sound a little bit more live sounding. I mean, that cleanliness is certainly a vibe, and that's certainly a choice. There's this one particular reverb that I've found pretty useful for just kind of giving things a little bit more liveliness. Kind of giving things a little bit of an open studio space recording sort of sound, you know, kind of a medium room sort of recording. It's this Ableton reverb that's called like Lively Resonant or something. Let's see if we can track that down, see what that sounds. Yeah, Lively Resonant Evil. Okay, so that's what it sounds like, super wet. Okay, you can kind of see where I'm going with that though, right? Like it just breathes a little bit more life into it. And I am curious, what if we did this before the compression, just to see if, you know, having the compressor pick up the reverb tails might sound cool? I'm not sure. We're experimenting here, you know? I kind of like that, honestly. You know, I don't know. I feel like it's really a big question of like, do you compress before or after the reverb? Usually, I will. I mean, it really depends on the scenario. It's really just a question of, do you want to compress those reverb tails? And, you know, you can do a little bit of half and half, a little bit of both, you know. Sometimes I find myself compressing before reverb to touch just the instrument itself, and then I might follow it up after the reverb with an even more lighter sort of compressor that just kind of barely lifts that reverb tail. I don't think we're going to need to do that here, but... Okay, I think that's sounding pretty good. These stabs could come up. I kind of want that to come up a little bit. Actually, a lot of it. Okay, but that also questions, we got to go back to the beginning now and ask ourselves, does this sit right? See, that's like way too much there. So what we're going to need to do is we're going to have to, you know, automate just for this beginning for it to sit back a little bit. We're actually just going to do we're not going to automate the gain knob there. We're going to automate this to turn off over here. So. Oh, and you know what's kind of nice about this, having this utility that only applies to the beginning, is we can get a little bit more specific about how we want that sound to enter the track. I'm kind of thinking, what if we like monoed it, made it very thin, and then just maybe scooted it a little bit somewhere. Oh shit, what's up, Mammy? How you doing? It's good to see you. It's good to see you. I'm glad you made it. Yeah, let's mono that and hear it. But yeah, how's your day going? It's good to see you. Oh, that's gonna be the ticket, I think. This is making me question the vinyl. I'm kind of, you know, we got to try it every which way, right? Maybe. See, but with the mono, we are getting this kind of weird, like, chorusy phase. I think that's just a product of, you know, the reverbs that are on this being flattened into one mono lane. So that might just be a consequence of making this mono. Now I am a firm believer though that every result is a choice you can make, right? Like we can choose for this to stay like this and say, Corsi, kind of cool. No, I'm thinking we're going to leave that open. But if we did mono it, we could like shift it over. No, we're going to leave that center and unmonoed, I think. I'm overthinking this, guys. Let's re-enable this automation. No, actually, the more that I think about it, the more I'm like kind of pulling away from that vinyl. I was thinking we want to kind of preserve our energy, but it's so bright, it's so lively, it feels good, it makes me happy. But yeah, Mammy says, I'm good. Just got back from occupational therapy for my arm. Hell yeah, I hope that's going well. Cheers. Well, hell yeah. I hope you have a speedy recovery, Let's maybe set this back even more. There we go. Oh man, I'm vibing today. This is good. Got a good beat to mix down. We got the homies here. Man, honestly, this song is like, it feels good already. I feel like, this is kind of one of those mixes where rather than trying to fix a lot of problems, we are going to be trying to accentuate the greatness, right? I feel like that's so much of what, mixing, I feel like sometimes we land on one of two sides where it's like, oh my God, this is so muddy and terrible and we need to clean it. Or it's like, wow, this is already sounding clean and how can we make this more full, more colorful, Hey, we got Signature in here. What's up, dude? Cheers, man. How's your day going? Welcome on in. Oh man, yo, Signature. We got kind of a wonky beat today. Kind of a crazy. I don't know. Maybe not so crazy. It's just zany, Yeah, Mammy saying this is sounding really smooth. I like the vibe. Thank you. Yeah, this is something that we made on stream last Saturday, and the reason why I'm mixing it down right now is because I am planning to ship this off for release to come out in, I believe, about 5 weeks. I've got like one single between here and then that I'm dropping, another track that I made on stream. And then this one's dropping as a single after that, which I don't know. This one just felt like the vibe, It was, I feel like what really sold me on shipping this one out of all the demos that I have is that this one got stuck in my head the most, this one felt like the most infectious. So I was like, sold, Ooh, I do like these stabs. We might actually separate out the stabs from the solo. The only thing about that is we would have to separate out this little, because that you're hearing right there is part of this guitar solo. I think it'd be advantageous for us to kind of like separate out the solo from that little like disco stab that we keep hitting them with. I think I think that really what I imagine is going to be advantageous about that is that then we can apply a different reverb to the disco stab than we can to the actual guitar. Could be super useful. But this is the only tricky part is right here. We'll have to separate that out. But let's go ahead and do that. Why not? Set ourselves up for success, you know? But yeah, Signature saying, good, thanks. Good to be here. Glad to hear it. Yeah, it's always good to see you, man. Let's duplicate. That way we have, I forget what we had like no effects on this. So I think what we're gonna do real quick is we're gonna like delete this. We're gonna delete these, right? We're just trying to get these in separate lanes, and then we're gonna go grab that tricky guy that was mid solo. Yeah, we're going to try to capture as much of that as we can, bring it down into the other lane. Just like right there. Boop. There we go. Easy. Easy. Okay. We're cooking, guys. We're cooking. Okay, now we've got this little stab out in a different lane. And I really want to, like, I don't know, I think today I'm really focused on, like, let's start at the beginning and move forward through the mix so we can kind of, you know, have a good feel about where we're leading people, you know? So really, let's, I am kind of focused on this stab right now, but mostly as it pertains to, like, this section. So it's got like a really nice little reverb baked into it. Of course, it's cut off right there. That's as much as we can give it. You know, this is just part of a sample. I'm curious. I'm very, very curious. What if we had like a very, very minuscule, and I mean very minuscule, sort of like ping pong delay on this to kind of help it, you know, reverberate out a little bit more, kind of, you know, almost like we would like a reverb, you know. It's not there to really be like delay madness. It's there to kind of add texture, I think would be cool. Hey, what's up, Myro? How you doing, man? Coding and lurking. Hey, I love to hear it, man. Welcome on in. All right. Yeah, let's play around with a little bit of delay. I'm almost thinking maybe instead of just going for our basic Ableton delay, because that could work. That could be awesome. Something that a little bit more interesting might be if we pull out Echo Boy from Sound Toys. And we got Echo Boy and we got Echo Boy Jr. You know, I never pull out Echo Boy Jr. I don't know. Is there anything worth exploring here? Oh, yes, I already got Space Blender. Yeah, if you guys don't know, Sound Toys, new plugin that they are giving away for free until May 22nd. It's called Space Blender. I downloaded it the other day. Sounds super interesting, honestly. I'm a sucker for all of these Sound Toys plugins, man. They are just fun to play with, man. But yeah, Space Blender seems like it would be really good for kind of like granular, like synth pads. It's a reverb plugin that is kind of experimental and atmospheric. Shit, should we pull it out just to show you guys? Yeah, Mammy's like, oh, nice. Yeah, right? You guys should try to download this if you can. I don't know if they're letting me have that because I have bought plugins in the past or if it's open to... I think it's open to everybody. Let's turn off Echo Boy Jr. and let's just go pull out Space Blender so I can show you guys what it does. But yeah. Siddharth, how you doing, dude? Hey, welcome on in. It's good to see you, man. It's good to see you. Hell yeah. How have you been, man? Let's pull out. Oh shit! I haven't downloaded Space Blender on this computer. Ah, fuck. Well, I'll have to download that off of stream. But just in case you guys don't know, Space Blender, Sound Toys, it's free until May 22nd. Let me see if I can just get you guys a link so you guys can go download it. Let me see. Space Blender. Yes, get it free. Perfect. I just got the link right here. I'll drop it in chat for you guys. Open it in a new tab. Don't go running off on me. I kid. But no, you should download this. It's kind of some fun stuff. I feel like anytime Sound Toys is giving you a freebie, like, take that shit. All right, big old link dropping. Oh, is it not going to let me? Wow, it's not going to let me do the full link because it's that long. I didn't realize that I was limited on characters. All right, that's fine. Let me see. Anyways, you guys can go to soundtoys.com and find it for yourself. But yeah, Sidar is saying drop some game, dude. I got the notes out. Fuck yeah, dude. Oh, yes. Well, first of all, go download Space Blender from Sound Toys, free plugin. But let's listen. Let's listen to this mix. Let's see where we're going. Yeah, we were going to pull out Echo Boy Jr. on this little stab. Add in a little bit of delay to kind of give it a texture. We're kind of going for texture. Like, ooh, slap wide. What? Nice. We're going to have a little bit of slap back, maybe. Sounds like a TIE fighter. Okay. I'm not sure if this is going to be the type that I'm looking for, but I do want to pull out the big boy, the big Echo Boy. Because we were just messing with Echo Boy Jr., and here's its big brother, Echo Boy. It's kind of one of those plugins where I feel like the presets are so solid that I really don't mind thumbing through all the presets, Reverbs and spaces, ambient echoes might be cool. It's getting a little bit too much. Space echo. Space echo. I feel like we might be getting a little wild with it, though. Nah, I think I'm overcomplicating this. Oh, actually, tap trips long. What are they saying about me? Jesus. Look, guys, I've got my own preset in Echo Boy. No. Tap trips the long way. The long way. All right. God damn. How do we feel about tap trips the long way? I see, but in situations like that, it feels like it takes the oomph out of it. All right, I'm gonna stop dicking around here. I'm fiddle farting around with Echo Boy here. Let's pull out our basic delay from Ableton. Let's simplify what we're trying to do here. I think what we're trying to do is ping pong. but we're going to try to do it very subtly, right? So like that, but let's turn down the feedback. Okay, so it gets out of the way shorter, right? Now let's turn that dry wet down. There we go. Just found out you get 4 years for tripping a horse in jail. Okay. Jeez. Did you learn that one the hard way, Myro? No. Don't go tripping horses. Yeah, okay. So this was really what I had in mind, right? We're just kind of delaying it out a little bit, touching it on the sides with a little bit of ping pong, but ultimately we are not allowing for this to be like super big. We don't want it to like go on forever. We don't want it to consume too much space, but this gives it a little bit more body, a little bit more texture, right? Dude, this song makes me so happy. What the fuck? Okay. All right. So we got, yeah, I'm liking how these are all sounding. We'll continue to keep eyes on this, though. Let's see, like, the rest of what we got going on here. Maybe kind of starting with our foundation, right? Do we like our drums? Do we like our bass? Are we happy with this Rhodes keys? Which, yeah, honestly, there's really not much I want to change about these keys. I've already applied a little bit of compression to them. Let's pull out an EQ, see what's going on. So sometimes, and I want to try this here, and we will see what, like, if we like this. But I want to show you guys a little trick about how I sometimes will make instruments feel a little bit more defined in their respective, like, EQ, you know? Really what I like to do is I will basically, so I kind of figure out, like, what is the section that this instrument is really contributing to the most in terms of our EQ frequency. Well, it's really this lane right here, mid-lows, right? Everything between like 100 and 1,000, basically. And we don't want to get rid of what's down below there, right? But we do want to emphasize the important parts. So sometimes what I do is I create these little notches, basically. And we'll use this guy up here. It's close enough, right? We'll just kind of create this little notch. We'll kind of boost in the middle here. Now, what's kind of interesting about these notches is when you do a little divot like this, kind of creating a little bit of separation, this seems to emphasize whatever is on the left of it and whatever is on the right of it, okay? You kind of see where I'm going? We're like creating just like a tiny bit of separation. Now, I just drew this in. I haven't really listened to it. Let's A/B test. Let's hear it. do this after the compressor, actually. I think this compressor is kind of messing it up a little bit. Siddharth is asking, how do you make the drums more punchy and not sucky and lame? What do you do for that? That is an excellent question, my friend. Let's actually take a look at this. We'll come back to it. Actually, real quick, let's just A/B test this. Okay, yes. I think this is breathing a little bit more life into these EQs, or into this Rhodes. It's just like a little bit more concentrated where it makes sense. But let's jump over to drums, because yeah, Siddharth, I love these drums, and I think that there's a very specific way in which I'm making these drums very punchy and not sucky, that I want to share with you guys. I think it's great. So really not much at all. Okay. First thing you really got to understand about drums is you can't turn a donkey into a unicorn. You are better off searching for a unicorn. What does that mean? It means start with better drums and your drums will sound better. In fact, you are trying to aim to do as little as possible to your drums to like actually make them. If they sound really good when you start, like you are going to be in an excellent spot when it comes time to like actually processing the drums and punching them up. You know, the better starting place, the better the outcome, right? Of course. Now with that said, just a few things that I did. I boosted the kick a little bit in the lows. I felt like it needed more body down there. I don't think I really did much to anything else here. I think that kick was the only individual instrument that I boosted a little bit. Now, you'll see the only two things that I have on my chain here is I did an EQ cut, cutting off the highs, kind of giving it a little bit of a tape feel, you know, just kind of removing that high-end information. But this is really the secret right here, is this UAD, this is Universal Audio, the 1176 FET compressor, the FET. What is so useful about this is, okay, don't let these knobs confuse you. And on the FET, it's a little bit backwards. This actually has a lot of attack and not much release. Like I said, it's backwards. The lower the number, the more of the attack on this, right? So really what we're looking at here is a compressor that has all attack and no release. And that is making these drums sound very snappy, you know? Very, very snappy. Let's A/B test it. Here it is without it. It's okay. Sounds a little dead, right? Now, it's fucking sick, right? I love this FET compressor for drums, man. It is like the best shit ever. I love it. I don't know. Oh, man. No, seriously. I mean, it really is like, look, try this with any other compressor as well. I just really love the FET for these drums. I don't know. The 1176 just sounds fucking amazing on drums, in my opinion. Although it is really easy to overshoot it and accidentally flatten your kick, you know, so I would just say be very careful, you know. But yeah, seriously, you could try this with the stock Ableton Live compressor. Try giving it a lot of attack and like no release. Throw it on some drums. See what it sounds like. See what it's doing, you know. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, Myro's saying, yeah, I hear this method in Afrobeats a lot. Well, good Afro beats. Fuck yeah, dude. Nice. Glad to see I'm not the only one. I actually did this by accident one day. Because I didn't realize that on the FET, the attack and the release were backwards. Now, for a lot of boom bap drums that I've done in the past, I have given it like no attack and a lot of release, right? And so I was like setting it like this, and I was really liking the sound. And then somebody told me like, hey, Tap, did you know that the attack and release knobs are backwards on the FET, that the lower the number, the more attack you have, you know? And I was like, wait, what? You're telling me that I actually ran this with like all attack and like no release, and I'm loving the sound of it? Totally changed like how I do things. You know, honestly, this all attack and no release sort of compression sort of reminds me of the Shadow Hill compressor that you guys see me use a lot on my mastering, you know? Specifically the discrete compressor on there, because it's kind of two compressors in one. It's an optical compressor and a discrete compressor. The cool thing about the discrete compressor is that it's just by default, it's got a lot of attack, no release. Sounds really great on a lot of stuff. It kind of sounds like an SSL compressor, you know? So I don't know. It's cool. It's cool. I'm just yapping now about technicalities. Let's get back into the beat, but yeah. Oh, also, I'll just show you what it sounds like without this EQ cut, because it sounds very different. Okay, this sounds like so not good, right? Put the EQ cut on there and it's like, ooh, this sounds kind of vintage, you know? It's because it sounds a little bit more tape processed, because, you know, couldn't really store all that high-end information on tape, right? So kind of makes it feel a little bit more vintage. We throw that compressor on and whew, nice. All right. Let's see, I'm just looking at the compression that I have here on. Oh, that looks good. All right, let's also just consider the spacing of things. So this is showing that it's like dead center, but you guys hearing it almost feels like it's in the left ear a little bit. I kind of like it over there, but the Rhodes feels a little bit more left heavy. So what if we just swapped the left and the right audio and see if it sits a little bit more naturally, feeling like it's in our right ear a little bit more. We're going to just swap this. Let's hear it. Boy, maybe that really is mono. I just don't know. It just sounds a little bit more. Here, let's try scooting this. That feels a little bit better, scooting it a little bit to the right. It's still like center, but it's just, I don't know, we're just giving a little bit more spread to it. Feels a little bit better. Yeah. Do we like how that sounds at the beginning? Yeah, because it's kind of running counter to this piano, or this, you know, electric piano. It sounds kind of a little bit more left ear. You can even see that, yeah. Considering this bass line for a minute, almost kind of thinking like, man, if we could just give this a little bit more fuzz to it or something. Oh, I got an idea. What if we pulled out Little Radiator and just gave it a smidge, just like a little push? We'll do this like maybe, we'll decide whether we do it before or after. No, that's actually kind of brightening it, which is not really what I want. It might just be that we step this up another decibel. See how that feels. I gotta be careful though, because I really don't want it to move past the kick, right? In fact, let's bring that back one. See, this feels a lot better because that kick is just barely hanging over the top of it, right? It's just, oops, sorry, I'm like knocking shit around. It almost makes me question whether or not I want to boost my kick up a little bit. We do have this rather compressed, so, you know, that might be a little bit difficult. Yeah, we really have this compressed. In fact, we might actually get a little bit more advantageous if we try to just boost the lows a little bit. Maybe we do this after. I got an idea. We're going to have to do this after the EQ, because that EQ is what's kind of tripping us up there. Now, we've already got a boost down here, but that's before the EQ. I think by hitting like right there at around 80 hertz, we kind of get a little bit of a balance there, you know, between like just getting the lows in there and getting some of the punch from the mids. Now it is kind of making it feel a little bit darker. Let's hear this with the bass. Okay. Now, you see, I feel like it's like details like these that we want to kind of bring forward a little bit. Let's maybe mess with the EQ on the reverb itself. You know, honestly, a better way of doing this is probably throwing that reverb into a return track. And then we can actually shape the reverb a little bit better without touching what the instrument's doing, right? So let me show you guys a little trick, because I think this live resonant is going to be a lot more useful to us once we get it in this return track. So we've pasted down our reverb here. It's at like 29%. We might change that. Let's take off this EQ. We're not using it. Let's also mute that for now, because who knows? Maybe we screw this up and we just go back, right? But basically, what we're going to do is now we've got this in this return track A. So what we can do is we can say, okay, expand, this track right here, track 5. We want to send this to track A. So we are going to send, and who knows by how much, right? We're experimenting here. Okay. Cool. So now we've got this reverb happening in a return track. Why is this so advantageous, you might ask? Well, now I can EQ this, I can widen this, I can do whatever I want to just the reverb on this instrument, rather than, compressing, EQing, widening the instrument itself, right? Super, super advantageous. So let's get our EQ out. Want to lift some of these highs. We might even slightly compress just the reverb, right? So I'm thinking let's pull out our LA2A plugin. We'll put this before this compressor or this EQ. That sounds cool. And if you guys want to hear what just the reverb sounds like, that's what the reverb sounds like. It's a little bit fuzzy, but let's widen this a little bit. I'll use Ozone Imager. Yeah. Let's stereo-wise, mode 1. It's already pretty wide. I think, okay, that fuzz might be a bit of an issue. It might be because of this compressor. Let's find out. No, that's just how it is. It's the reverb itself that adds a little bit of this fuzz, this texture, which is not a bad thing. We could actually use this to our advantage. I just think that with the compression, it might be overshooting it, making that fuzz a little bit too prominent. Yeah, you can really hear, right? really boost that up. Might be better without the compression, honestly. I think that could be used as a reason to justify not using a compressor on this reverb. Yeah. That's good. Yeah, studying drum techniques and Afro beats was helpful. Dude, it's because Afro beats have a lot of good, like, syncopation to it. I imagine that's why. Oh, yeah. Definitely advantages of branching out your genre, you know? This boost in the low might be a little extreme because we got it doubled up with this guy over here. I still find it super advantageous though. I want to start focusing on this guitar, you know? This is the next thing that gets introduced to us. And you see, in my opinion, I feel like these stabs right here feel super live and exciting and just like engaging, right? And I kind of want this guitar to be maybe not that bright, but equally like lively, right? I think it's really going to be a reverb that's going to help us really lock that into place. But I think it's going to be a different reverb than this lively resonant that we have right here. So what are we going to do? We're going to actually do a different return track for a different sort of reverb. There is one reverb that I kind of want to try on this one. It could be really cool. It could sound like dog shit. We're gonna find out together, okay? Let's bust it out. Now this one is from Guitar Rig 6 MFX, I think it is. Yeah. Okay. It's called Airverb, and it's kind of a chorusy sort of reverb. It sounds interesting. It's kind of experimental. Let's try it out. So we've got this laid down here now. Let's say track 9. Let's send it to return track B. Now, do we like having it all sent, or do we want to... I actually really like that. Now, kind of want to shave off some of these lows. Like, okay, so if I'm curious, if I have it all sent to B, are we even hearing it in, let's test something. Oh, and we missed one of these, yeah, stabs. Okay, I'm glad I caught that. We're going to move this down to its appropriate lane down here. Okay. So, curious if we do that. Yeah, you see, we could really remove a lot of the lows of that EQ. Make it a little bit brighter, you know? Yeah, gotta use your ears. Absolutely, man. Dro Hidalgo. All right. Let's see. I feel like we're not entirely locked in here, but I want to do just like a little bit of compression on the guitar itself, on this guy. Not like a ton. We don't want to overly compress this by any means. We just want to make these tracks a little bit fatter, you know, just like a little bit. See what kills me though is we got like this airiness underneath it. Is that coming from this guy? No, this is just the guitar. That's okay though. That's okay. We can live with a little bit of it. Just really limits how much we're going to be able to compress, right? And I am curious if we took an EQ to this now. I'm a little bit weary of removing too much here, but see, it's that fuzz up there. So what if, and I don't think that we want to do like a hard cut, but what if we did like bring it down a little bit over here? And then we can make up for some of that with a little boost up here. Okay, so there is some stuff to kind of avoid. But you can hear we can actually boost this up because we removed some of that fuzziness up here at around 10K. We're actually getting away with this pretty nicely by boosting this in the reverb. Doing some real mix engineering shit. Hell yeah. Yeah, maybe we really do like skip on the compression here. Bring this compression out to the reverb and apply it very gently. Very, very gently. God, we're picking up that fuzz. I'm convinced that I'm just not sure if we can really compress much on this because of that fuzz. You see there, I'm running into this issue a lot today. It's okay though. We're just making the best decision that we can make in the moment. That's really all you can ask of yourself, you know? No mix is going to be perfect. All you can do is really make the best decisions possible for what the song is going to be, right? So I think for this song, maybe not so much compression on this guitar, but I do think we want to get this up a little bit louder. It does need a little bit of compression though. Curious, maybe if we busted out the FET. Let's just try some of these like presets. See if... Look, there's even an electric guitar preset. I don't have no idea if I would like it a lot. I see it's got a lot of attack and like no release, kind of like our drums are run. God, you can just hear that fuzz underneath though. It kills me. All right, here's what we're going to do. Back off on the compression a bit. Man, that fuzz just kills me. You know? We're really working for this. Let me take off my EQ, making sure that that's not working against us. Let's actually just turn that down for now. I'm about to throw a sledgehammer at this. Let's try something a little bit different. Okay, decisions to make here. All right, so we kind of like just totally cut the frick out of these highs. Of course, you can see there's really not much guitar information up there, but there is information that helps it sound brighter, helps it sound more open, right? But I think that here's where we got to make a choice between like what is more important to us, eliminating that fuzz that's coming in. Because even without the compression, that fuzz is going to be a problem, right? Or, you know, maybe dealing with the fact that our guitar might sound a little bit more muted, which it's already kind of a muted guitar. You know, it's kind of got that palm mute sort of feel to it. I think in this case, this is the obvious solution for this issue, is that I think we're just going to cut the highs on this and persevere, you know, move it forward. But this means that we can actually compress this a lot more. So let's get this back up. Now, I am curious. What if that's sounding pretty good. Okay. Sorry, I had to get kind of, you know, precise with this one. That was driving me crazy, man. I don't think I want to change anything about these bloops and cuts, you know. But I do want to kind of like bring them up a little bit, maybe put them a little bit more to the right. We'll see. Thank you, Signature. Yeah, it's a groovy track today. Like, I don't know. I feel like it's I have more fun when I'm enjoying the beat more. Today I'm like really digging this beat, you know? Yeah, because we've brought the guitar up, right? So I feel like this little bloopy counterpoint needs to come up to kind of match that. We don't want to explode it, though. just something, you know, appropriate for the volume of this guitar. Could maybe spread this a little bit further to the right. I'm kind of thinking like on the outside of it, because this guitar is leaned right. And the reason why I did that is because it feels like the Rhodes is leaned left. And quite honestly, I feel I've tried this bleepy bloopy kind of sound in the left ear. It just sounded like way too stacked left, you know? So really what I think is the best course of action, what I was trying to hit in the initially is having this little counterpoint hit on the outside of where this guitar is, right? So outside right. That a little bit further right, yeah. If we set it that far right, like we can, but I think that we're gonna need to set it back in the mix now a little bit more. You know, just a little tip about spacing. I feel like as you are moving things out to the right, it is going to sound louder in your right ear, right? So you got to kind of compensate for that sometimes. I feel like anytime that you are spacing things a little bit differently, it's super advantageous to just kind of go back, do a little bit of, you know, a little bit of just gain staging, you know? It's a good time, you know? But yeah, Myra says, this reminds me of when I had an issue with fuzz. It turned out to be a ghost. And had to clear audio cache. But ghost in Ableton be an issue. Yeah, sometimes, man. Sometimes those ghosts, they, you know, there's a ghost on this guitar for sure. You see, that actually just sounds too far right. So that's where it was initially. Let's try it in the left. I see it. That just sounds way too. And I mean, these are counterpoint to each other, except for like over here, we kind of have a little bit of overlap, but. I'm going to send this one to the lively resonant reverb that we have in our A return track. This guy. Let's try it. We're on track 11. Cool. Oh, you can tell already, like immediately that feels a little bit better. I feel like we could kind of turn this down a little bit. Oh, I also kind of had a little something I wanted to experiment with on this guy. With this delay. What if instead of 2, what if we switched it to 4? Feels a little bit better. But let's even make this a little bit more minimal is what I'm thinking. Thank you, Myro. Oh, it's feeling good, dude. That's how it's gonna end. Very good. Damn, I feel like we're getting to a good spot. You know, now I feel like we need to kind of take 2 steps back and just kind of listen to it like a person does. You know, not looking for issues or mistakes. If there is an issue, like kind of letting it come towards us, right? Because yeah, I feel pretty satisfied with this. There are a few things like I don't know, man. That guitar is kind of killing me. I'm not gonna lie. Cutting out some of the highs on that guitar is just like, man. I wish I could make it sing a little bit brighter. But it's, you know, it's that fuzz that's in the high end, and I had to just kind of like throw a wrench at it and just cut out that fuzz. You know. That's the only thing about this mix right now that's kind of bugging me. And before we really zoom back out, right, I kind of want to go back to that and just... No, I mean, we made the smarter choice there. It's just kind of kills me that we had to like throw a wrench at it, you know. That's kind of how I think of it when we're like really just like cutting out a section of the EQs. It's like a little aggressive, you know. Like we're kind of just like fucking smacking it over the head with an EQ, right? But yeah, no, listening to it back, we really didn't lose much guitar. It's just, I don't know. Okay, yeah, I'm satisfied with it. Let's bring it back to the beginning. Let's just try to listen to this like a normal person now, you know? Not listening for anything in particular, just kind of observing. Boosting that up 1 dB. Dude, that makes me happy. Man, I still gotta think of a name for this track. I'm gonna be releasing this in like 5 weeks. I need to think of a name for it. I was hoping to maybe make some artwork for it tonight, but I kind of need a name for it first. I gotta think on that. If you guys got suggestions, drop them in chat or in the comments if you're watching the VOD. I don't know. Gotta think of it. But yeah, Myra says, love how you always got a smooth transition in and out of the highway or segue to another idea. Thank you, man. Yeah. No, this does feel pretty interconnected. I feel like a lot of really good production really comes down to the small details. Like, it really is the transition points that are as important as like the sections themselves. I don't know. I feel like production at a higher level really does come down to like, yeah, but how does this feel moving? But thank you, man. Yeah, it's a fucking work in progress, man. Let's Yeah, I think it might be time for the moment of truth. All right? I think we might it might be time to start really running some compression on the master, see how we did, if we did our homework right. I feel like every time that I like start my mastering process, I start squeezing it on the master, I feel like I learn new things about how my track is balanced. The moment I touch it with a compressor, I start to like question the gain staging so much more, right? So I'm prepared for that. I'm prepared for it. Let's listen like one more time. Maybe just go ahead and start pulling out our compressor. I've heard this enough. I'm feeling satisfied with this. And we can always, take the compressor off. Go try it again, All right. We're going to start with the Shadow Hills Master compressor. I'm still convinced these don't do anything. the plating. I agree, Myro. Oh, this song makes me so happy. All right. So our current max peak value is minus 1.82 dB. Now I'd like to scoot it just like a little bit closer to 0 dB before we end up feeding it into the maximizer from Ozone. I really want to just kind of smash it up to the ceiling in Ozone. But I feel like it works better when it's already close to the ceiling, right? So given that we have like minus 1.82, I'm going to give it like 1.5 decibels of juice. And the Shadow Hill Master compressor can be a little unpredictable at times. So it's like, I'm not sure if we want to set it like super snugly up there. But let's boost it by 1.5. And let's just see if we can still remain below a max peak value of 0, right? So there we go, 1.5. Let's listen through it. Let's just appreciate the music while we do. Getting close to 0. God, these drums are so satisfying, man. Love it. Hell yeah. We're at a max peak of minus 0.28. That is damn close. That's good, though. That's where I like it. Alright, we're going to feed it into the maximizer from Ozone. In fact, we're going to let Ozone, analyze it, think about it. We might reject everything and use it how we will. But, may as well let it do its thing on it. Get us in the ballpark of where we need to be. That's honestly how I feel like it's smartest to use, I don't know. I know everybody was, super up in arms because, Ozone was, one of the first companies that started offering, AI mastering, And it was, kind of lame. I think everybody's kind of impression of it was, this is lame, right? I will say it's good for getting you in the ballpark of where you need to be. It basically listens to your music and estimates maybe a good EQ for it, a good maximizer setting for it. But honestly, it's you should really be kind of using your own discretion and only using what it gives you if you agree with it, right? I think we're going to set this back over here. We're going to let it listen, run it on high. Next. Okay, volume warning. This might be loud. This EQ looks a little sus. Sometimes it's right though about lifting those highs, but sometimes when it's doing crazy stuff like that, I will say though, it was kind of a dark master. This might energize it. I think we need to A/B test this a little bit. I'm gonna bring my volume down a little bit. If you guys need to, please do. Protect your ears, okay, guys? All right, let's listen to this. Let's A/B this. You know, as fucking crazy as that sound, like as that looks, it's not actually as extreme of a change as you guys might expect, because like this is about 2.5 decibels of gain right here. And where it starts to get really high up here is mostly in the 10K hertz and above, which is usually about where I would give the master some air. Maybe not this much air, but I can't disagree with what my ears are hearing, which is, yeah, this sounds a little bit brighter. But let's listen through it and really decide. You know, we need to hear it all the way through, see if that's, you know, giving us issues or not. Our loudness meter out. We got to run this back a little bit. I just hate that we're grabbing that fuzz, you know? Jeez. Ugh. Man, what can we do? What can we do? You hear that fuzz? That's just not good. Not good. Sounds like garbage. Sounds like dookie. That's actually much better. I only took it down like a little bit. We did not even touch the guitar. We're trying to really not touch that guitar at all, you know? But yeah, signature, yeah, brings out the ear candy. I agree, you know, and I'm usually doing like a little boost like that at around 10K anyways. It was just a little bit more extreme than I usually do, but I kind of agree with it. Like, it sounds kind of cool, you know? Oh, this is actually sounding a lot cleaner on this guitar. That is so much better. That is so much better. It's gone on my end, says Myro. Hell yeah, dude. It's a team effort. Hell yeah. Let's also hear once it cuts off at the end. Fuck yeah. Dude, this is so nice. Damn, if you guys enjoy this stream, you should definitely drop it a follow, drop it a sub if you want to see more mixing streams. We do this every Thursday. We're not quite done yet, though. We need to mash, get our LUFS value, see where we're at, because we might need to push it a little bit more, But yeah, man, dude, this is a great song that I cannot wait to drop. I think this one's going to be coming out on my Spotify on 5 weeks from now. I know it's a little bit of a ways off. If you guys are in the stream, I'll remind y'all. But yeah, if you guys are trying to find the music, I am TapDaddy on all platforms. I just dropped an album. I would love it if you guys heard it. No worries if not. We're all musical people. I don't know if my music is your taste or not, but if it is, this is a great album to listen to. It's very jazzy, hip hop, just beautiful instrumental album that I think you guys might enjoy. Let's get a good LUFS value on this. Let's see what our LUFS are. See where we're at. Looking like we might need to push this just like a little bit more. I'm usually aiming between -8 and -10. That's usually about my range. Let's try to send this up a little bit more. Now, I think we got two options here, okay? Kind of thinking either we pull back on the threshold for the maximizer a little bit, or we apply a limiter at the end of this chain and we just nudge it barely up into the ceiling. Now, pros and cons, I guess. I feel like the limiter is kind of a cleaner way of getting a little bit more volume. It kind of squishes things a little bit less, but it can kind of do weird things to the, to the loud parts. It kind of clips it in a funny way. I don't know. I don't think it's going to make too much of a difference, regardless of which way we decide to do this, whether we want to pull back on the threshold a little bit more on the maximizer, or if we want to just brute force it with a little bit of a limiter, maybe pushing it like half a decibel into the ceiling. That could work too. I want to try it with the maximizer first. Let's try it out. It is already up there, though, quite a bit. Actually, on second thought, I'm not sure if we want to try it with the maximizer. It's just already set so low, that threshold, right? And I mean, we're already, limiting with this maximizer. Quite a bit. Let's just pull out just Ableton's color limiter, which they renamed master limiter in Ableton Live 12. Yeah, this it's the same tool as the color limiter in Ableton Live 11. So if you're working with 11 or lower, you have this tool. It's just called the color limiter. So really, we're going to set that ceiling at 0 dB. We're just going to feed it like a little bit of extra dB. Maybe 1 dB, like that much. Okay, yeah, that's sounding good. Feels a little bit more full. I like that. I like that a lot. Let's get another LUFS value here. Let's measure our LUFS again. Tool's a badass. I know, right? It's nifty, it's simple. Subtle and brilliant? Hell yeah. I think so. Nice. Minus 9.5 LUFS. That is perfect. That is right in the range I was going for. I like that. I like that a lot. Guys, I think we did it. I better save this. Jesus. Yeah. Man. Holy shit, guys. This was awesome. So this one is coming out, again, 5 weeks from today. 5 weeks from today. It's dropping on my Spotify. I've got one more single dropping 1 week from today. I think it's 5 weeks. I've been saying that all stream. It would be embarrassing if I was wrong. Let me think, though. Because, yeah, I just dropped my album. And then I got a release coming out. Let's see. It's been 1 week since that release. So then 1 week there, I've got a single. So that's 1 week from now, and then 2 weeks after that. Holy shit, I've been saying 5 weeks. Guys, it's going to come out in 3 weeks, I think. I'm being a dumbass. I'm sorry. All right. Oh, man. All right. 3 weeks, we'll say. We'll say 3 weeks this is coming out. You guys know the deal. It all comes out eventually, hopefully, you know. But yeah, if you want to go check this out, you know, on platforms, I'm TapDaddy once again. Consider dropping me a follow. Consider checking out my new album. I'll just drop a little link for you guys in chat. You know, if you're curious, if you're trying to find the music, that's where you can find it. But yeah, man, we did it. We came here. We conquered. I'm feeling good. I think I'm off to go have a beer by the pool. Yeah, that sounds nice. after after a nice mix session, that feels quite earned. So, anyways, thank you guys so much for hanging out. Thank you, Myro. Thank you, Signature. Thank you, everybody that was just hanging out. Siddharth, thanks for popping in. Mammy, always good to see you. Thanks for popping in. Damn, guys, this was awesome. Let's do this again next Thursday. And of course, I'm going to be live, Saturday morning. We're doing our Saturday morning cook-up. Definitely swing by if you want to hang out for a studio session. And as always, I am going to be reviewing music from chat on Twitch, as I do every Wednesday and Friday. The link to that is in the description, you guys. If you haven't checked out the Twitch community, we got quite a rambunctious community over there. I highly encourage you to come through, share your music with me. I would love to give you my thoughts on it. And, last but not least, if any of you guys need mixing services or if you need a producer, I got my email listed below. Definitely shoot me an email. I would love to hear from you. So, good stuff. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. And until next time, happy mixing, happy producing, all that good jazz. I will catch you guys later. Peace.